We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Barit's Sass. And how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had an amazing week. You guys will definitely have an amazing this week. Yes, it is Monday. And yeah, what did I do this week? I really... technically I done a lot. But I'm gonna tell y'all all the details of what I did kind of this week, next week, because I'm filming this episode early. But I've been having a very productive week. Like, I've been very, very productive. Like, I don't know what has gotten into me. I'm gonna have to do an episode of productivity, but I have been very productive this week and last week, and I'm just really, really happy that I'm in this mode of productivity. I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting things done. Like, I'm the type of person, like, whatever gotta get done, I'm trying to get it done. So I'm just happy that I'm doing it, because and not only am I doing it, I'm doing it so gracefully and just so calmly, because usually when I have a lot on my plate, I get very worked up and I just start bugging out. I guess that, remember a couple of weeks prior, my eye was jumping and shit, my nerves was going crazy because I was just doing too much. And so I guess that just taught me to just like really, really calm down, really, really calm down. So yeah, so that's definitely something I'm excited about, is that I'm just being really productive. Like, I've been doing, like, if I got like 5 things to do, I'm able to just shoot all of them in one day and not be mad that I gotta do it. Like, of course I might wake up and be like, girl, you got 5 things to do today, but I'm doing it and I'm just like doing it. So I don't know what's gotten into me. I hope that I could keep this momentum. I think because I had such a rough couple of weeks, I just came into this week like, what's good? Who wanna fight? Who wanna square the fuck up, bitch? Boom, boom, boom. Like, that type shit. So yeah, that's just been my week. Just getting everything I need to do and get done. I've been writing lists, checking off lists, paying attention, doing this, doing X, Y, and Z, you know? So that's just been my week so far. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you will see what I've been doing this weekend. And yeah, I told you guys last week I'm gonna be filming early, so I don't know, it's nothing like really popping off in the world currently, at least while I'm filming. You know, I haven't seen anything too worthy to talk about, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, honey. I ain't seen nothing that I'm like, oh yes, I need to talk about this. I mean, I might have missed some good stuff. And yeah, I see Nicki Minaj is coming out with some music. It has already come out. I told you I'll film it early, so she said she was coming out with music Friday. So yeah, y'all, I'm gonna just jump into the topic this week. It's still gonna be an awesome episode, even though I have no tea for y'all. I'm telling you, it's gonna be an awesome episode. You know why it's gonna be an awesome episode? Because this episode is about accountability, holding ourselves accountable. And I was like, you know, I wanted to talk about accountability because I just feel like a lot of times you know, well, not a lot of times, lately I've been holding myself accountable. Even, you know, like when me and my husband argue, I like to hold myself accountable. I hold myself accountable in therapy. I hold myself accountable for a lot of the decisions and choices that I have made in the past, in the future. You know, I like to hold myself accountable, not in a bad way. We can talk about holding yourself accountable in a destructive way. And I noticed too, when I was doing my research on the Goo-Goos, because I was trying to look for an article for Expand Your Minds, they talk about accountability in the workplace a lot and in leadership. So I think that's kind of dope, because even I'm not going to talk about it too much in the work space, I feel like it goes to show that accountability is so important in just being a leader and just guiding yourself and just on a bigger spectrum. So I did find an article, but it's not going to be kind of like Expand Your Mind. I'm going to kind of like break down the article in a certain way. So, all right, actually we are going to do Expand Your Mind. So you know what we like to do before most topics, we like to expand our minds. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. So, in a topic on accountable2you.com, and an article that says 5 reasons why accountability is important by Scott Chadwick. So, accountability is a mechanism for success. Seek transparency with a trusted partner and discover the many benefits available to you. Gratefully enjoy the good gift of communicating with an accountability partner. Seek a transparency with a trusted partner benefits you in several ways. Okay. So 1, you build a habit of living deliberately. 2, you demonstrate your progress. 3, you develop your reputation. 4, you receive helpful counsel. And 5, you build valuable relationships. So, that's that on that. And let me just talk about my history with accountability. So, you know, a lot of times, like, I think I even brought up on Britt Says and probably several episodes, I used to be one of those people who always think they're right, always think they're right, always think they're right. But sometimes I'm not right. Sometimes I'm wrong. And I think a lot of us always think we're right. We always think we're right. I don't think that's just something that's monolith to me. I think that a lot of people sometimes always think we're right. And guess what? When you're right, you're right. Yeah, you can have your flowers on some Wendy Williams shit. But when you're wrong as well. And you need to hold yourself accountable. And the thing to me is like, people don't like to hold themselves accountable, but believe it or not, holding yourself accountable feels really, really good. Like, it feels really, really, really good. Like, when I hold myself accountable, I actually like it. And the funny thing, too, when you hold yourself accountable, motherfuckers don't like that. When you start holding yourself accountable, like, when somebody be like, yo, I didn't like how you was yelling, or I didn't like how you said this, I didn't like when you did this, and you be like, you know what? My tone was a little too elevated. What I said wasn't right. And you know what? I apologize. And I want to hold myself accountable for how I behaved, how I engaged, and how I reacted. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it really be like that. And when you do it, motherfuckers be like, they be quiet. Because once you hold yourself accountable, what can anyone say? But you got the petty peeve people who want to go back and forth with you after you don't hold yourself accountable. You know them type of motherfuckers. You argue with your man or somebody, and they just be like, all right, but still, that's the thing with you. You want to say da-da-da. I said I'm sorry, and I held myself accountable. Talk about being a bigger person, baby. So that's one of the things I enjoy about holding myself accountable. Also, too, one of the ways that a lot of people are not privy to when it comes to holding themselves accountable is like, even in a long-term aspect, like, it's some things that I did, right? Okay, I don't want to give too much examples, but I might end up giving you an example because I do this all the time. But let's say, for instance, you did something. Like, for instance, I had a friend, and I always used to FaceTime with her. I don't know if she watch or listen, whatever. I never, ever enjoyed FaceTime. I don't hate a FaceTime person. I don't mind doing FaceTime ever so often. Like, I don't mind it ever so often. Sometimes I really do enjoy FaceTime, but not every single day. You know what I'm saying? It was never something I really like doing, because like I said, I try to be productive. And when you do like a lot of stuff, especially like on the computer or things like that, FaceTime requires you to hold your phone. Like, maybe they have something where you don't have to hold your phone. I don't know. But a lot of the time, it requires you to hold your phone and stuff like that. And just be, what's that word? Attentive. Like, you have to, like, look at the phone. So, to me, I can't hold my phone and edit a Brit Says episode. And then I feel like it's kind of rude, too, when you on FaceTime and you doing something. It's just like, like, because I feel like when people FaceTime you, they kind of want your attention, like your undivided attention, or at least 50% of it. I swallowed something. Sorry, guys. So I feel like they at least want all of it, or 50% of it, maybe even 75%. And I feel like sometimes you could go on Instagram and Shade Room and FaceTime because y'all are talking about those things. But as it pertains to like editing an episode, doing some homework, studying, looking for more business ideas, looking for articles, topics and stuff. You cannot be on FaceTime and do all of those things, you know what I'm saying? Or even fuck a business just focusing on you, you know what I'm saying? How can you be on FaceTime all day and really pay attention to who you are and who you want to be? Like me, I can't even talk on the phone and watch TV sometimes. Like, that's the type of person I am. I just can't do it. So I just feel like, you know, I never like FaceTime, but whatever the case may be, I allowed myself to answer the phone every time because I just felt like I had to, you know, and I didn't create those boundaries. And now, you know, what, like 5, 6, 7 years later, I told somebody like, look, that's not something I'm interested in. I don't mind texting you though. You feel me? I don't even really like, I don't know, I like talking on the phone. I do, because I could be productive and talk on the phone. When I put my mind to it, I could do it. Sometimes when I'm too focused, I just tell the person like, yo, I'm gonna call you back, blah, 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 blah. But I don't mind texting. Like, I could text all day. Sometimes I might respond a little late because I'm doing something, but I don't mind texting. You know what I'm saying? But that's not something she wants to do. She wants to FaceTime. I don't. But I also had to hold myself accountable that I created a certain relationship. And that's what people don't understand is like, when I say we have to do long-term accountability, is saying like, for instance, if you in a relationship with a guy and you came into the relationship constantly buying things, doing things, tricking, and now he's kind of like doesn't do anything for you. You allowed certain things to go on in your relationship early on, and then when you come to him and you like, I kind of don't like that shit, and he's like, well, this is what we always been doing, this is what I like. You gotta hold yourself accountable. You do. You really do. You have to say, yo, I created this relationship. I created this. This is, in some ways, this shit is my fault. Like, you can't put the blame all on somebody. Like, I don't, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't like when people be like, oh, all she do is FaceTime me, or I could have been, okay, let's go back to me. I could have been like, oh, all she do is FaceTime me. She don't keep herself busy. Like, go get something to do, da 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 da. Like, I'm not answering your call. Like, no, you can't do that. Hold yourself accountable, because at one point you was answering those phone calls. Hold yourself accountable, because at one point in this relationship, you was being the big ass caregiver for a grown ass man or XYZ. You was doing that shit. You gotta hold yourself accountable. And once you hold yourself accountable, you do the next step and you say, yo, look, this is not something I want to do. I don't mind you texting me, or whatever the case may be. And that person has the right to say, look, I like doing XYZ. And you could say, well, that's not something I want to do. And if they don't want to be a friend no more, or if that person don't want to fuck with you no more, and they don't want to be in a relationship with you no more, then you got to take that fucking L. Like, don't keep doing stuff you don't like doing. But also, when you do shit that you didn't like doing, don't try to blame the other party, because you allowed it to go on. You know what I'm saying? Even too, the other day, my mother was telling me about, me telling everybody business, telling me about somebody, and like their kid is out. They're not even a kid. They're an actual adult. They're in their 20s, and they out doing things with somebody, little stuff. You know how these older parents, like, weed is about to be legalized in New York City. The shit legal in LA, Colorado, but she be smoking weed with her friend. Mind you, she's in her 20s, and her mother just, you know, doesn't like it. And I was just telling my mother, like, and then her mother was saying that the girl is a bad influence, like her friend is a bad influence on her. And I was just telling my mother, like, at the end of the day, she's an adult. Like, she made those decisions. She made those choices. And that's the other thing, too. Like, I be having a whole, like, okay, now I'm about to really get real deep on a broader spectrum. Not even broader spectrum, just, like, wholeheartedly honest. But a lot of times, we do need to hold ourselves accountable. I think even you could look at media and television, and you can see a lot of the shit that go on, and people is really dead ass not holding themselves fucking accountable. And I don't like that shit. Like, for instance, I had something in like the corner of my mind just now that made me like want to say it. Like I feel like people like to blame people for things, especially as an adult. You can't do that. Granted, I do think that sometimes people play a part in things. Like, I feel like one of the top times where people don't like to hold themselves accountable is when, and this could be problematic and give me time to clean it up, is when they drink and when they get high or get belligerent. And it's like, my nigga, you knew there was limits and caps on this shit, and now you drunk and you doing some dumb shit. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, we all had our bad days with alcohol. Okay, let me not say we all, because I don't even know who listens to podcasts. Somebody who listens to this podcast might be straight edge bitch. They might have never drunk a drink in their damn life. But if you drink or whatever, sometimes when you drink, you know, they say drunken thoughts are sober truth. So you might drink, get angry with somebody, slap somebody, be disrespectful, get out of character with somebody when you drunk, and it's just like the next day, some people don't like to hold themselves accountable for the decisions and the choices that they made. They're like, oh, I was drunk. No, my nigga, like, that's how you really felt, one. Number two, like, you know what happens when you drink. Like, if you 21 and up, like, you already know what time it is. When you drink, shit about to get scary. Like it could get scary or it could get fun. It's you know, and that's the other thing. You know how you are when you drink. Even you know your situation too. Like, for me, for instance, if like, after I go through something too traumatic, too sad, or just something I feel that is too something too bad, I don't drink, because I feel like I'm going to cry. Which is nothing wrong with crying, but I would rather cry naturally. How you say naturally? I feel like liquor is promoting the tears. I just don't want to be influenced by liquor or do something crazy, or I don't know. I don't think I would, but I just don't want to drink after something like that. Some people feel like it's appropriate to drink. Some people, like for instance, they'll go to a funeral drunk because they're so sad that this person has passed and stuff like that. But yeah, in a moment of grief, if you're going to use a funeral, for example, you don't got to hold yourself accountable today, but, oh, baby, 5-10 years down the line, I'm hoping that you're thinking about holding yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? We do. We really need to hold ourselves accountable, you know, for the decisions we make, or even with finances, right? People like to be like, oh, I wasn't able to... And I'm not throwing no shade to nobody, because, bitch, I ain't got it either, okay? Oh, I got kids, and I got this. This is why I can't have a house. Or, like, I hate people like that. I haven't dealt with that lately. But I know, like, earlier, and they be like, oh, you don't have kids, so you could go out and you could have fun. Or, oh, you don't have kids, that's why you could have a car or this or that. Or you could buy a house right now or get an apartment, or you could go out. Like, my nigga, don't get mad at me. Hold yourself accountable, okay? Because in hindsight, and that's even for me to speak on as well. In hindsight, we all have our own right, and we all make our own decisions and choices at the end of the day. You feel me? So, you know, we all could have saved money up for a house if we wanted to, but maybe some of us chose to travel and have fun in our 20s, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Or we could have just saved up for a house, but we didn't. Hold yourself accountable. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't try to blame, even though, you know, as a black person, there is some, you know, things that block us from our blessings But I'm just saying, in a certain spectrum, like, some people just don't be wanting to hold themselves accountable. They just be wanting to point the finger at everybody. Like, no, you chose to buy a Fendi bag, my nigga. Like, no, you chose, if there's nothing wrong with the projects, but let's say you live in the projects and you want to move out. You chose to stay in the projects. Let's say you've been living there 5 years. You could have been like, yo, I want to get out. I want to get out. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves too. Is like, I have dated a guy, like, I remember he would always complain about his job, right? And I was dating him when I was like 21. So then I like kind of hit him up, like, I want to say 5 or 6 years later. And when I linked up with this nigga, he had the same fucking job. And those type of situations is when you got to start holding yourself accountable. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then when he met me, he was like, dang, you got a car. He was like, oh, you got a house. I'm like, this ain't my house, my parents' house at the time. But he was just like, oh, now you a manager? Because when he had met me at the time, you know, I just came out of school. I was working at Macy's part-time at that, like 26 hours a week. Like, he met me when I was on the come up baby. And then he was still doing the same shit. And it's just like, at what point do you hold yourself accountable? You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't just keep blaming everything on everybody. Yes, sometimes people are at fault. 100%. People are at fault very, very often, actually. But the thing with that is that I feel like, too, let's jump into that. I feel like, too, in situations with arguments, disagreements, at least both of y'all was wrong at some point. Because I feel like it should never be a time where you have an argument and it always end bad. Like, if you had an argument with somebody and it ended bad, at some point, or where it turns into a yelling or screaming match, at some point, both of y'all was wrong. And y'all both need to hold yourself accountable. You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like in most situations, you did something wrong and you need to improve and you need to hold yourself accountable, and you just can't point the fingers. Like, I know I could talk for myself. Like, sometimes I very often, well, back then I'm not like that no more. I like to hold myself accountable. I love holding myself accountable. But back then I would be mad at people or things and we don't even look at what we could have did differently in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Or and I hate that, because, you know, they say idle mind is the devil's playground. But, you know, I sit in the house sometimes and I think about stuff that's so old, and I be like, all right, even if it's something small, y'all, it could be something so tiny. And even if you feel like that's not a big deal, because some things don't be a big deal. Like, let me give an example. I was thinking about college, and I hate group projects, right? So I remember in college, I was doing this group project, and at the time, you know, I went to school at Buff State, and I went to school for fashion merchandising, and I was still in shock that my program had so much white kids in it. Because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, around mostly black kids, and we all like fashion. Like, so I thought it was gonna be mad black people in the program, but whatever. You learn, you live, and you learn. So in my group projects, I just learned white from early. That's one thing college will teach you, is that white people is really just controlling. They white privilege just spews out every single day. So anyway, you know, I guess I was like kind of awkward around them, but I didn't talk as much. You know, I didn't talk as much in the group projects. This example is mad weird and mad funny. But anyway, I did everything that was asked of me, though. I did everything that was asked of me in this group project. I swear to everything I love. I just wasn't as communicative. Is that a word? If it's not, I made it up. As the other group members. Like, they would try to talk to me and I would just do like, huh? Like, because I just felt, at the time, I felt awkward around white people. Is that okay? Like, I felt awkward around them, and they was just a bit much. Like, they was mad extra stush. So then one day they was like, yeah, she don't do nothing, da 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 da, and I blacked on them. They was saying I didn't do anything in the project, and I blacked on them, and I was like, so did I not do X? Did I not do Y? Did I not do Z? Did I not do A? Did I not do B? And they was like, yeah, you did. But what I want to say, where I held myself accountable, was like, and y'all could agree to disagree, I wasn't being friendly. And I know to some of y'all, they be like, Brittany, you don't gotta be fucking friendly, bitch. You did your work. What was asked of you? You did the assignment, bitch. Like, you did what was asked of you for that group project. But I just felt like I was coming off very, you know, I wasn't coming off shy. I was just coming off very, what's that word when you like kind of like back off, but we can work together. Like, I'm holding myself accountable. Some of y'all can't do that. Some of y'all can be like, bitch, I can act like that. And that's the other problem. Is like, no, sometimes you can't act like that. It's a group project. A group project is about communication and I think that teachers do it so that you could learn to be social and build friendships. And when you go to work, you can't do that back off shit at work. So it was a lesson for me. Do I feel like I still did my work, my job in a sense? Yeah. But had I been maybe nicer and more friendly, would things have turned out better? Yeah. And I get that some people's like, what if you're introverted and da 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 da. I wasn't coming off introverted. Like, and that's the other thing. You gotta hold yourself accountable. Some of y'all be like doing shit like that. Like, I was just came in there, I was acting mad normal. Bitch, you wasn't acting normal. You was not acting normal. You was acting rude. You was being nasty, or you was acting standoffish. Like, some of y'all be doing that. Like, y'all tell a story and tell it mad half-assed. Like, I came in, I walked in the building, I was like, hi everybody. Knowing damn well you ain't say hi like that, bitch. You said hi like, hello, hi. Like, y'all really don't be holding yourselves accountable. We all do it sometimes, and it's like, it's okay. It's okay. And granted, your feelings is valid. It's okay to have moments where maybe you want to be standoffish, right? But just know there's gonna be repercussions for those decisions. You walk in a building or in a group aspect, and you are in anything, and you come on standoffish, the outcome of that might not be successful. Vice versa, if you come into a situation friendly or nice. You know, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think about things I did, and I was like, bitch, you did that shit kind of half-assed, but you did it. And that's the other thing. People think, like, you did stuff, so that's all that matters. And it's like, did you do it to its standard? Hold yourself accountable. Like, I've holding myself accountable for a lot of things, and it feels good. It feels good. But I want to break down the article a little bit. I just saw something that almost made me laugh. So one of the things I like, it says you build a habit of living deliberately. So it says, it's your life. What are you doing with it? Accountability can help you demonstrate a clear purpose in your life. Show that you are actually doing what you said you would by sharing relevant details of your life with a trusted companion. Accountability shows that you have committed to pursue a goal. Then it keeps you focused on fulfilling specific action steps to accomplish it. Your partner can challenge you to keep up your priority, to push you to your limits, to keep you taking action. They can help make sure you work according to a standard and in the proper time. Okay, so this is talking more so in a relationship aspect, but it could still be related in a life aspect. So I do think accountability helps you create a clear purpose in your life. Like, just like on my first example where I said, you know, certain shit I just can't do anymore if I want to lead a certain life. It's gonna help you lead to your purpose. Like, I held myself accountable, and now that I held myself accountable about something, or when you decide to hold yourself accountable about something, it will help you kind of say, I'm not gonna do this in the future, right? At least for me, I know. And for you, I think everybody, like, once you hold yourself accountable about something, like I said with the group project, will I walk into a door and be standoffish again? No, because I held myself accountable about it, even though that shit happened, maybe 7 years ago. I've been out of college like for 7, I don't even know now, 8, 9, I don't fucking know, years or whatever the case may be, right? So now that shit happened, let's say 7 years ago, and now I'm living my life with the ideology that I was never wrong in that situation, and that this is why I don't like group projects, this is why I don't like working with people, this is why, and I'm always walking into situations standoffish, right? But now, even though 7 years later I held myself accountable, like, Brittany, you walked into that situation standoffish, now I could lead my life and lead my purpose better and be more friendly, or have a better disposition in group situations. Am I always like that? Maybe that was my first time doing some shit like that. I'm not saying I've done it 100 times, but now I know going forward, I'm not going to do that again. So I think that's the other beautiful part of accountability, is like, it could really help you find your purpose. Like, for real, like, dead ass. Like, it really, really can help you to just be better. And when you become better, just imagine the many things that come out of it. Or like I said too, like, you know, being on FaceTime 15 hours a day, is that productive? And holding yourself accountable and saying, look, I allowed that and I need to learn how to set boundaries. Now I'm gonna always set boundaries going forth in my life, right? Isn't that beautiful? And look, it's never too late to, you know, fix things, you know. Like, I feel like a lot of these things, a lot of these topics that I'm bringing up to you have been going on for years, right? But that's the beauty of life. Everything is in some ways fixable, right? Yeah, I sometimes like, damn, bitch, you wasted 5, 6 years doing some dumb shit. I probably will be way more successful now, way more productive now. But it's okay, because I fixed those problems and now I could move forward into my purpose, right? I feel like I'm way more productive because of these things, right? Like, I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. God is here with me. Like, for instance, I make sure I put up recess every week, you know, on time. I think that correlates back to me not playing around on the phone all day, me not feeling like I need to go out 24/7, right? Come on, like, you gotta pay attention. Even, it's other things that I do that I don't speak on, that I know Brittany 4 or 5 years ago could never do because she fucking played too much. And she don't set fucking boundaries, bitch. I be telling people straight up, like, I got this to do. I can't do this today. Like, before I be like, oh, let me find a way to get okay, if I don't get it done today, then it's fine. No, bitch, you said you wanted to get it done today, so it's gonna get done today. So whatever somebody invited you to last minute or even a week before, it's a big fucking dub. Because you said this is what you wanted to do. How you gonna push somebody in front of your shit? And then when you fuck up, and then this is what people do. When you fuck up, you be like, you'll go up to that person and be like, you just too clingy. You're just too on top of me. And I can't be the productive person I want to be. No, bitch, but you allowed that. Hold yourself accountable. Like, people be doing that. Like, they'll have a boyfriend or something and be like, I just feel like you just too clingy. You ask too much of me. You always up under me. You always complaining. And I didn't get to excel in my life because of you. But where were you wrong? Where did you hold yourself accountable? Because you allowed that shit to go on. You should have set clear boundaries. Because at the end of the day, you was going along with the shit. They thought everything was gooch. You feel me? So I just feel like those are very, very tiny but very, 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 very big things that needs to be addressed. And I get what he says. It helps you be deliberate with your life. It really does. It will build a habit of living deliberately. Like, that number one is everything. You demonstrate your progress. Because you are tracking your progress, you can see how far you have come. You remain heartened and preserved to reach the next level. You have hope that change is possible. Instead of following the path of least resistance, you can gradually push forward through obstacles, building momentum to affect real lasting change in your life. Just like I said, you know, I'm demonstrating progress. Like I said with like my podcast, I make sure everything is up once a week. I'm posting on social media. I've been slipping with that, but I'm coming soon on my Instagram. You know, I post pictures. These are things I always wanted to do. Now I feel inclined to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's baby steps. Obviously, like, I was putting up like little fashion photos every week and I fell off, but that's okay. I did ads and stuff, but those are things I couldn't even do that a little bit 2 years ago, bitch. And I had way more time 2 years ago. Trust me, I had way more time on my hands and didn't do those things. So yes, I'm seeing the progress of me holding myself accountable. Like, y'all really need to hold yourself accountable. And you know what? Homework. I love when my therapists give me homework too, which is not funny. But homework, like, think of something, a situation where you just mad. Like, you're just mad at a person, or you just didn't like the way it went. You see how I brought up something from college? That shit happened like 7, 8 years ago, y'all. Maybe, you know, it happened a long time ago. And then I looked back on the situation and I held myself accountable where I might have went wrong in the situation. Do that shit. Think about something. Think about something. Anything. Like, think about anything. Like, anything that went really bad, or you just didn't like, or you didn't like how the person handles the situation. Whatever. And think about a situation where somebody fucked you over and you just knew you was right. And sit down. Play it out, child. Get you some wine if you need to relax your head. Get you some coffee, whatever you do. Drink you some water, tea, and just think and sit down and say, what could I have done differently in this situation? Or what did I do potentially to allow the situation? And let me tell you why that statement is problematic, right? Because I said I want to make sure I'm cleaning up everything. Let me sweep and mop, bitch. The reason why that statement could be problematic is because I want to put out there 100%. Like, of course, when it comes to like sexual assault and rape, some people be like, well, I hate when people say, look how she was dressed. That's why that happened to her. So that's kind of like, I don't want people to think about situations of assault and say, because those are things that are hurtful, right? And sit back and say, where could I have done better? Like, that's not the same. It's not the same. Because nobody should ever feel that they can touch you or have sex with you or do whatever once you say no, right? Or even even if you say no, if you just didn't ask for it, you didn't ask to be touched. Did you say, yeah, I like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never asked for it. Like, it was something. That's a slippery slope. I just want to make that clear when it comes to accountability, because when I say think of a time where you were stressed out and think about what you could have did differently, I don't want people to start thinking about, okay, that time when blah 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 touched me, what could I have done differently? Bitch, don't even think about it. Those situations are very unique, and I still feel like it has to be addressed. I should have said trigger warning, because I know some people get triggered. TW. But I just want to make that clear, because that was when I was thinking about this episode, that was one of the things I was thinking about, was like, Brittany, make sure you bring that up, because people like to say, you know, those type of things, and I don't want people to think about something like that and try to think like I should have did this differently. And let's talk about that, because there's a lot of situations where people feel like they should have did things differently, especially like with grief and loss. Or maybe you were a caretaker. Like, some people, they take care of somebody who's not sick, their grandmother, and they be like, oh, I should have did this differently, I should have did that differently. That's different, okay? A lot of this stuff, okay, let's dive deep. Okay, let's start with the caretaker thing. Let's say you're taking care of a grandparent and they pass. It's not your fault, okay? A lot of this stuff is science, and a lot of even science. I really fucking hate 2021, because everything is just like, you gotta clean shit up with a mop. Like, I was about to say it's science, and some people don't believe in science because, you know, look, all I could do is tell you what I fucking know. If you don't like it, then go find a motherfucking other podcast. You could definitely leave a comment, because I'll argue with you, bitch. I got time. So, like I said, a lot of shit is science. If your grandparents was already old, they were sick, their time was coming. It's not your fault. There's nothing you could have did differently. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I don't like when people hold themselves accountable, is like, oh, I should have just let them take the medicine every day. I should have just shoved it in their mouth or put it in their water because they didn't want to take the medicine, and I allowed them not to take the medicine. Or they should have stopped smoking cigarettes. I let them smoke the cigarettes. Like, no, stop. Certain stuff is out of your control, like, for real, like dead ass, like, especially when it comes to people, in some ways, because yes, an older person, they should take their medicine if the doctor told them to take their medicine. But if they don't want to take it, they don't want to take it. And all you can do is say, take it. You can't shove no medicine in nobody's mouth, whether they old or not. That shit is assault, bitch. Like, certain stuff is out of your control. Like, for real, like real talk. There's things that's really out of your control, and you cannot hold yourself accountable for. You cannot control somebody passing away. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, unless you just sat there, unless you actually killed somebody, like shot them, then yeah, hold yourself accountable. You're a fucking killer. But certain stuff you just can't. Pregnancy. Let's talk maternal health. You know, I'm big on maternal health. When people lose kids, when people lose children, when people lose babies, you know, I used to try to hold myself accountable. You can't hold yourself accountable. There's so many things in maternal fetal medicine that is not even fully studied, like, to an extent. So it's not your fault. You get what I'm saying? Like, all you could do is try to do what you can, and sometimes things don't work out. Can you think of what things you could have done differently? Yeah, but I just don't think it's your fault completely. Unless you was like punching yourself in the stomach or something, doing some wild shit, yeah. But it's not your fault. Sexual assault. If you walking in the street or whatever, I don't know, situation, you're in your house, you're at somebody's house at an event, an occasion, and your plan wasn't to have sex, wasn't to get your coochie touched, to get your booty, your titties touched, that is not your fault. That was never in the game plan. I could see if it was in the game plan, like you went outside, you was like, I want somebody to touch my titties, and then somebody touch your titties, that you just, it just wasn't the guy you wanted to touch your titties. That's different. But you had no control over what that man or woman, whatever, was gonna do. Like, you literally, like, certain stuff you literally did not know was going to take place. You get what I'm saying? Like, you didn't know that someone was gonna assault you. Like, so you can't hold yourself accountable for that, if that makes sense. Like, I can hold myself accountable for the outcome of the group project, back to the group project, because I came in there on high defense. That's different. Like, I knew, like, I was giving off an energy, right? Or like I said with the FaceTime thing, I kept answering the phone. I don't have to answer my motherfucking phone. I had the choice to say decline, right? But you don't have the choice to have somebody not touch you when you don't know what's about to happen. Like, I had the choice to hit decline. I had the choice to come in with a smiley face. You don't have the choice to not get raped. In hindsight, yeah, you could say stop. But what if you're scared? What if you think the person's gonna kill? Like, certain stuff that's very, very touchy, that's life or death, or where you feel scared or frightened, those are not situations where you can hold yourself accountable. If you scared, you like those things are very, very different. And I just want to make sure I make that clear. And that was one of the top things. I'm so happy that I remembered that I wanted to bring up in this episode, because with accountability, it gets very slippery, and a lot of people like to play games with the accountability shit. Like, you shouldn't be walking around like this. Like, people could just be walking out of work in a fucking two-piece suit and get raped. God forbid, you know what I'm saying? So it's not about how you dress. Some people, it's just nasty. Okay, it's not, oh, I should have just did this, I should have left at this time, maybe this. No, you don't know. Like, you don't fucking know. So certain stuff where you literally have zero control. Granted, I know somebody who wants to play devil's advocate could say, we never have control over anything, actually. We never know what's gonna go. Yeah, you don't technically, in hindsight, ever really know when something's going to happen. Yes, we never really know. But after some things, you kind of know what the fuck you doing, and or maybe at the time you may not know, but even I think subconsciously when we do some fucked up shit, we know. Like, it might be in a little tiny space in our brain. I'm tight. So yeah, I feel like in just a little bit part of our brain, we subconsciously be knowing what the fuck we doing sometimes, just a little bit sometimes. But you know, I hope I made that clear. If I didn't make it clear, bitch, I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all. You know, I can only do what I can. You know, I have time to argue, but then again, I might not have time to argue with y'all motherfuckers, because you know, these things could go viral any day. Somebody could run into this episode in 2028. I might not want to argue with your stupid ass. Take what you can out of the episode, you feel me? But the last but not least, definitely, you build valuable relationships. A relationship steeped in accountability can yield more than just a fulfilled commitment. Serving one another and engaging each other in substantive ways builds valuable relationships marked by harmony, peace, and camaraderie. Your pursuit of a goal might also encourage others to make and achieve their own goals. Your partner might also connect with you with others who can help you move forward. So I love this. I love this. Also too, like, I noticed, and you just gotta find the right partner, because I know some of y'all be like, nah, not all them niggas is like that. When I start holding myself accountable, my husband finds it easy for him to start holding himself accountable too, because I be doing it, so then he feel like he gotta do it. Especially when men, you know, they got egos, so they be like, oh, she thinks she the big guy, I could be the big guy too. You know how they are. So, you know, ladies, if you date men, whatever, just keep that in mind. Like, they want to be like you, or they want to be bigger and better sometimes because of their ego. They like, oh, she thinks she's the big guy, she thinks she's so psychological, I can be that too. Like, you know how they be doing that? So he be holding himself accountable too. So I love that. It does help you build relationships and camaraderie. And also get you friends like that. For real. I haven't been in a dispute with any of my friends in mad long. I mean, at this time and age where I finally learned how important accountability is, thank God. But I would hope, you know, if I ever run into anything with anybody, that my friends are the type of people, and my family, that likes to hold themselves accountable. I would pray and I would hope, you know. I haven't been in a situation where somebody should or should have held themselves accountable. But I would love to, you know, maybe I've had arguments with people, like, maybe years down the line, like Brittany, I would just like to apologize for because I was wrong in that situation. Like, that hasn't happened to me in mad long. And it was not even a friend. It was like a really long time ago. I was in middle school. Well, I wasn't in middle school. When I was in middle school, this boy, he used to bully me. And then, like, years later, he held himself accountable, and he was like, I just want to apologize for talking to you and treating you a certain way. I was going through a lot. I was an angry kid. I had mad problems at home and XYZ, and I really enjoyed that. I be on here telling y'all the tea. But yeah, so I mean, you could hold yourself accountable years later. I mean, I mean, that's really, really hard. Like I said, I gave everybody a project to do, homework to do. If you ever run into this episode, like, think about something old. And if you want to get that deep and start apologizing to motherfuckers, by all means, do it, honey. Do it. I'm open to that, you know. And I think people would love it. I enjoyed that, even though it was something that happened so long ago at the time. I don't even remember how old I was, but I was just like, okay, thanks, or whatever. But if you want to do that, that's really nice. And you doing it, and you're not doing it in a way to be toxic. Because some of y'all motherfuckers be doing shit to be toxic. Okay, y'all be trying to bring people back in your life and then and come back in their life and act a fucking fool. You could apologize and don't have to be friends with that person no more. Like, it just could be like, yo, I just want to hold myself accountable. Hope you have a blessed life and a blessed day. That's it. Like, if y'all not talking no more, don't try to come back in their life stressing them the fuck out. Okay, it's okay. Let me clear that up too. So let's say you do decide to, you know, write somebody and hold yourself accountable for how you behaved in a situation. If y'all haven't been talking for dumb long, just say, I'm sorry, I apologize, whatever the fuck happened, I'm gonna hold myself accountable, and I hope you have a blessed day. Don't try to, like, oh, let's go eat, let's go, none of that shit. Just clear it up, and whatever they say next, that's it. Cause y'all motherfuckers be toxic, and I don't want y'all to use my platform to do your toxic bullshit. Especially niggas. They gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start holding myself accountable. And you know what? Maybe she might want to go back out with me. No. This is not what this is for. This is for just holding yourself accountable. And that's the other thing. Like, holding yourself accountable don't have to come with a relationship or anything. It could just be a growth thing for you. Like, you don't have to do stuff to rekindle things. Like, some of y'all just only do shit when you want to rekindle a flame. Like, you don't have to apologize just to rekindle a relationship or a friendship. You don't have to do that. You can literally apologize out of your heart. That's where some of y'all be going wrong. Y'all don't like to just say, I'm sorry, to say, I'm sorry. Like on some grown ass woman or man shit. Like just, it's okay to just say, I'm sorry. Just because. Just like motherfuckers give just because flowers. Like, you know how people say, give me my flowers while I'm here. Give me my apology while I'm fucking here. And while you at it, stay out of my life. That's some big grown ass shit. Like, if you could really dead ass hit somebody up and say, yo, I didn't like that shit I did in 08. I just want to say sorry. I don't want to bother you. I just want to get that off my chest. And that's just that on that. That's it. You just saying sorry because you just feeling like productive and you in a healing spirit. It's not even because I want to hang out with you. It's not even because I want to fuck with you. It's not even because I want to bang with you. I just want to say that just to say it. And I still want to move on with my life and you move on with yours. That's what we really need to get into. We really need to get into that bag. That's a hard bag to get into. It's very rare you see that going on. Let's be honest, where people just apologize just because. Okay, y'all giving out just because flowers. We giving out just because apologies. Let's get into it. All 2021. But those things are hard too, because I'm trying to think of like things that I probably did wrong, where I could apologize or I could have did better, and I can't even even really think of something right now. But you know, I'll try to do my homework too. I do the homeworks. I do the episodes and I bask in the moments or whatever the case may be. So yeah. I am crazy as hell. But let's talk about the conclusion. Accountability is important. Clear communication with a trusted companion will give you the best opportunities for success in life, helping you to do the right thing to meet your goals. Do you want success? What are your goals? The best way to achieve them is through peer accountability and just accountability in general. So yeah. Hello? Are y'all trying to strive? Are you trying to reach your goals? Hello? Yes, we are. We are trying to strive. We are trying to reach our goals. We are trying to be productive. We are trying to be that girl. Period. Per. So, yeah, I literally enjoyed that episode on accountability. I'm big on accountability. I love accountability. And yeah, I hope you guys do your homework. I hope that we all start holding each other accountable. And I need to talk about that, holding other people accountable. But it's not about that. This episode is not about holding other people accountable, because I feel like all of us well, not all of us, a lot of us, that one is way easier to do than us doing it, holding our own selves accountable. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, because I definitely did. And I hope you guys are on your journey to a prosperous life. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm gonna start doing? Nah, I don't know. I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all posted. But yes, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram _Instagram. Make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, you better be a subscriber. Like for real. Like for real. Knock it off. And what else did I want to say? If you're streaming, make sure you leave 5 stars, leave a comment, share, guys. Go tell somebody. Like, don't be stingy. Like y'all be getting the tea and then don't want to tell nobody. Like, what's that about? Like, even though I get like 7 to 10 views, 7 of y'all could tell a friend, tell 2 friends. So the 7 to 10, 11 of y'all that be watching the video, go tell 2 friends to go watch this video. Like, for real. 2 people, like, yo, this girl, like, for real, y'all need to spread the love. Share the love. Honestly. Truly. Thank you. And yeah. With that being said, I will see you guys next week. Bye.